All right, we on. All right, everybody. We want to welcome you to the nonprofit NICU, the NICU, the nonprofit intensive care unit for all you nonprofit visionaries and founders who have birthed these babies and have now found that you need some assistance and some support in order to get those babies, as Kai says, fully funded and functionable and sustainable. As we want you to be able to prosper in what it is that God has given you in order to help out your community, the world, and your neighborhood. So I am Daphne, and this is Ty. We are your RNs, your real nonprofit consultants of the 501c3, as we call it, and we are here to assist you in whatever it is that you may need to get your nonprofit baby to the point to where you are prospering, sustaining, and actually growing to help your community. So we are kicking off our our collaboration and our training in the NICU with our Love Month, and what are we calling it? For the love of money.
For the love of money.
Okay, so this training is about for the love of money, and we know that every nonprofit needs money. However, we know that there are some things that nonprofits are out here doing for the love of money. So, and we know how the song goes, Ty, don't we?
I ain't gonna sing it, but y'all know, for the love of money. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna sing it. But people. I will jump right on in. I'm just so very excited that Daphne and I have come together with this collaboration. NICU, Nonprofit Intensive Care Unit. There's a lot of stuff that we see out here in these nonprofit streets, right? So, and a lot of that stuff is just so messed up and so what one of my friends would call janked up. And some of it is just so backwards. There's so much information out there. There's so many practices out there that are not ethical. There's so much going on and people don't know what they don't know. There's a lot of things that people are doing for the sake of getting funded. And I have a group called Finally Funded. And the whole thing, a lot of people are coming in. The first thing they ask me is, Ty, where's the money? How do I get the money? Where's the money? No other questions, but where's the money? And, there's money out there. There's always been money out there. This is what public charity is about. Somebody somewhere is giving money to somebody, right? And we are out here and we're searching for this money, and we're getting to a place where we'll do just about anything for it. This is why we came up with this topic for today. Today is Valentine's Day. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, because this is, you'll probably see it on a replay. But today is Valentine's Day, and we thought, you know what? For the love of money, that would be just perfect to go on in here with. I can't sing, y'all. I was born in the 70s. So, my mama, she old school. So I've heard the song before, right? We used to play it now. I'm not going to sing it. But people will do some crazy things for that mean green, right? And Daphne mentioned that, many of you and even us, we're in for-profit businesses, our business, but we serve a group of people who want to serve the community through nonprofit and service. And God has purposed you to do these things. And we think that a piece of our purpose is to help you to fulfill your purpose. And we want to make sure that you're doing this stuff without having to go to jail and without having to be fined and be on the news about stuff that you're not doing correctly because you're looking for the money. And money makes the world go round. That's another thing. We should name it that. But it takes money to do what you need to do to serve your community, but you want to do it in the right way. And we're gonna have a couple of things that we're gonna talk about today about how we see people just messing up the money, and why you get into the situations that you're getting into, some of the causes, what causes you to mess up the money, and the consequences behind that. I wanted to lead in with grants. I wanted to lead in with grants because I get calls all the time from people who want a grant writer. Ty, can you write me a grant for like $10 million? Can you, and it's like, I've turned away so many people who would be potential grant writing contracts because either they weren't ready, they didn't have the programs, they didn't understand the process, they weren't willing to work with me to get them to the point where they were ready for the type of money that they were seeking. You know, there's something out there on every level for everybody. But, you know, when you're coming in, you're like, I want millions, I want hundreds of thousands. You got to be ready. You got to have your stuff together. You got to know what you're doing. And what is happening a lot of times is that you'll find people who are just filling proposals with a bunch of fluff, you know, making up stuff, falsifying numbers. You know, funders will ask you, how many people have you served? Where have you, you know, you like, I served 300 people. You served 3 people, and you know you're telling a lie, right? You're like, you know, and you probably didn't serve those. You're making it up. And a lot of times, if you have a good writer, you have someone who's creative, or you're creative on your own, and you know how to write, you'll submit this grant. And you just might get it because somebody on the other end of the table might be looking at it and say, hey, you know, I think that's worth funding. We're going to fund it. But if you told a lie, you're going to have some problems because you got to manage the grant. You got to be able to carry out this program that you just told somebody you had the capacity to carry out. You can't do it. And then you get happy and you get on Facebook and you get on Instagram and you go, yeah, I got this grant for $500,000, and you don't know what to do with it. Right. Mm-hmm. And when you get it and you think it's about you, I made a post this morning that if I see one more nonprofit owner, I'm just going to choke myself because you don't own this thing. This belongs to the public. This is the people. This is the people's money. So you just can't take it and do whatever you want to do with it. This $500,000 grant that you just got, that's not yours for your, you know, to pay your mortgage, you know, unless you have a salary in there that helps you pay your mortgage. But you have to be honest in your writing, and a whole bunch of fluffed up stuff is not honesty. I'm gonna let Daphne talk because I'll keep on going. Y'all go ahead.
What it really boils down to is integrity. It kind of boils down to your integrity and your intentions when you submit a grant on a proposal. And you know on the forefront what it is that you can and cannot handle. And a lot of times what happens is that, we know that you need money to complete what it is that you're trying to do. You're trying to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish for your organization. However, what happens is that in the midst of you trying to get the money, you create these fabrications, delusions of grandeur, as I call them, that you want to, and you may have the best intentions on actually completing them. However, can you really complete what it is that you say that you're going to do? Can you complete those goals? Can you manage those funds that the funder has given you? A lot of times, what grantees or nonprofits don't understand is that getting the grant is the easy part, believe it or not. But managing the grant after the fact is the hard part. You have programmatic reports that you have to submit. You have financial reports that you have to submit to all funders, whether it is on a quarterly basis, semi-annual, or at the end of the grant. You have to be able to account for all of those dollars that you spent or that you said that you were going to spend. And in those categories that you said that you were going to spend them in, what I see a lot of people fabricating staff members, fabricating payroll and payroll expenses and things like that. Just putting people on your payroll to say that you actually that you spent those dollars. So there's a lot of things that are going on that you may not intentionally have done or do, but I would say you have to be careful. You have to be cautious as to what it is that you are that you're doing in order to get the funds, in order to keep those funds. Because on the back end, what you don't want to do is you don't want to have your name attached to any kind of fraud, any kind of lack of integrity, any kind of and I would say just lies, just blatant lies, and we're gonna call it what it is. We're gonna call it exactly what it is.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
And I would say there are some people who you hire a grant writer, and your grant writer puts all these things in the proposal, but it's your responsibility to know what's in that proposal. It's your responsibility to know what it is that your grant writer has said that your grant writer has committed you to doing. You cannot come back after you get a grant and you spent the money and say, well, oh, I didn't write the grant, so I didn't know. Ignorance is not bliss. Especially in the grant writing, in the grant world, in the nonprofit world, ignorance is not bliss. Not knowing is not acceptable. So you have to know, and I know Ty always talks about being educated as a founder and as a visionary with the organization that you founded and that you are functioning in, and that you say that you want to do good for the community. So you have to be able to, and you have to understand that you have to get that information, that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding as to what it is that you are charged to do in the position that you're charged to do it in. Go ahead, Ty. You got anything else? You got something else?
No, I mean, exactly what you're saying. And in addition to, and we talked about it, we've talked about it into some detail, and you talk about how people just, you fabricate staff and you fabricate numbers, and another thing that we talked about was people who were trying to just whatever funding opportunity that comes along, you want to be in it, right? You're like, and I call it looking for funds in all the wrong places, right? But and it's love, and like looking for love and all of this love month thing is something catching on to me. But anyway, looking for funding in all the wrong places, and we find ourselves, you start out, your mission is whatever your mission is, and then you see an opportunity for something else, and you go, oh, I want to do that. So now I'm gonna say my mission is this, or now I want to, and you keep shifting, and I call it mission madness. It's like, oh, every other day you got something else going on because you're trying to find money. Any money from anywhere, you don't really care. It's like, look, if they feeding elephants today with this grant, I'm gonna feed elephants. If they're doing trafficking next month, then we're gonna talk about trafficking. And how in the world did you get trafficking and elephants in the same mission? I do not know, but people are doing things like that. Yeah, and depending on who the funding agency is and how detailed and deep they are. Sometimes you can be lucky. You can be lucky at a time or two, and you can get this, and you could actually get this money. It just depends. But what are you gonna do if they're funding elephants and you're doing trafficking and you happen to get a little piece of money? How are you gonna do this? What is this about? And have you seen it in the news where people? And that's just kind of extreme. But you've seen it just recently in the news where folk have gotten grants for certain things that they cannot handle. They're saying, we're going to feed 100 people or 1,000 folk, and then the folk don't get fed. But they got the money, so why do people not eating? We're gonna build a school, and the school is not being built. So what happens? Who gets called for that? You. In your organization, see, somewhere on YouTube, somewhere somebody was having a wedding with her nonprofit money. These are the issues that we are seeing, and you may think it's silly and just kind of over the top, but people do some crazy stuff for money, and you have to make sure that whatever your mission is, that's what you focus on. That's where you grow from. Of course, there's going to be some changes. There's some changes in trends. You have to kind of. You have to pay attention to what's going on, in the world around you. There's some things I remember when I worked in HIV, and when I started working, we were really, really big on prevention education, which is kind of still a little bit big now. But as the years went by and they found more medication for HIV, people were living longer with HIV. A lot of the funding that came along was for treatment and linkage to care. So of course, so we had to kind of shift our mission just a little bit, where.
But you were still HIV focused. You were still HIV.
Right. But we're still focusing on HIV. But and we're still doing some education. But let's walk over here to treatment a little bit, so we can get into this. We're still and we're still wrapping this whole mission. It's still the same thing.
The mission
we're
is
just
the same.
kind of right. But we have people who are just every day. Yesterday your mission was this. Next month your mission is something completely different. You're healing the sick in January. You raising the dead in March. In November, you're feeding 5,000. I don't know what you're doing, right? And the funder, and this is why a lot of you guys are missing out on funding as well, because you're just kind of all over the place, and you're missing out because funding, right. They pay, and they pay more attention than you think they do. They have definite needs that they want to fill. They have philanthropic goals that they want to meet, and then you coming up every other month with a whole different thing. And this is not just funders, but possible people who are going to be contributing to your cause. You're asking them for something. Next month you having something else, and you talking about something else. You just jumping all over the place, and so people fall out of support for you because of that. But you're doing it. The reason why you're doing that most of the time is because you just see money, and somebody told you that there's money in trafficking. Somebody told you there's money in transitional housing. Yeah. Somebody told you, and they're telling the truth, but you can't be everything for everybody, and you can't follow the money. Programs are first. Services are, you have to know what these things are first before you even jump into finding the right funder for what you're trying to do.
Well, actually, you need to have your programs developed first, and then we gonna go vision, mission, goals, objectives, programs, and yes, they should go in that order. As I say, the good Lord always says, order. There's an appropriate order to things, and that's one of the reasons why we started the NICU is because the order is out of control. The baby is birthed. Now all of a sudden, the baby needs all these things in order to survive. And it should have got those things before it was birthed. But however, those things were not put in place. So what happens? What do we do? No, we're not gonna let your nonprofit, fall. If we can help you, we're not gonna let your baby die. But you have to come to us for the help. You have to let us know the truth. No, you didn't get no prenatal care, for your baby.
You got no folic acid, nothing going on.
You had no folic acid. You didn't know you was pregnant. You just showed up.
Missed 3 months. Like what?
Right. You just showed up one day and this baby was in your hand, and now the baby's mature, and now you need some help. So that's what me and Ty are here, and what we are charged to do, and what we wanted to do this month was just give you all just a little bit of introduction, and a little bit of a nonprofit love, on the real, from a real perspective as to what we see and what we don't want to see, and at the same time how we can help you all in order to get them babies fed and nourished as to out there, so y'all can have these full healthy nonprofit organizations. And our goal is what your goal is, and it's to have a healthy, thriving nonprofit that serves the community and ultimately serves the kingdom of God and what it is that God has put into your heart and in your vision, and moving it forward. And like Ty says, Ty has her specialties, I have mine, and we're excited about this, and actually excited about what's going to happen with all you nonprofits going out there. So feel free to contact us, put any questions that you may have, and we'll do our best to answer those, as your RNs for the NICU. And if we can't answer them, we will be more than happy to bring in other RNs, other real nonprofit consultants that will give you the real information from a real perspective, and get your babies going, get these babies, fully, fed, and as you say, the fat babies, the fat healthy babies with all the funding and functionality that they need. So I personally want to wish everybody, a happy Valentine's Day. I want you all to go spread the love, in your nonprofit. Take this month to actually figure out how you and your nonprofit can spread the love in your community, spread the love, and with other nonprofits. Reach out to other nonprofit organizations to see how you all can partner, and get on the bandwagon and do some collaborations like me and Ty are doing, and me and other Ty and other nonprofit consultants. You all are going to see a lot of collaboration, a lot of partnership, and a lot of love being spread to help you all get in what it is that you all need. So, Ty, you got anything? You know.
Yep. Happy Love Month. I mean, like Daphne said, go out, share love, show love with your nonprofit. A lot of times, the love is what is missing. A lot of people are out there asking for money, and you're not showing no love. It's like, my husband, you got to love me every day, dude. You just love me
Not just
on
one day.
Valentine's Day. Don't just love me when you have your fundraiser. Don't just love on me when you don't just love on me when you asking me for grant money or support, or you having your workshop. Y'all got to get out there and y'all got to love on these people every day. People need you every day. A nonprofit, public charity, people need charity every day. There's somebody needing what you have every single day. So you have to get out there and some things you're like, well, I don't have any money. Some love don't cost nothing. It don't really, the man who paid the price for love, that was like, we can't even pay that back. So we can give it away for free because he paid for it, right? Love don't cost a thing. I tell people you can go in to the nursing home and you can hug on some old folk. That's you're loving on them as a part of whatever you're doing.
Your mission.
Out of your mission. Yeah, you there's things that you can do that don't really cost anything. You can check on kids. Anything that you can. Hey, this is my organization. We're concerned about kids and their ACT scores. How's your child doing? Does he need support? Those just something that you could do to show that you are out there and that you care and that you're not just caring about when you're having your fundraiser. When you got them kids outside Walmart with talking about give us $1, when it's time for your backpack drive. We want to know that you love us all the time, and when the community sees you out there loving on them, they'll be more ready to love on you, right? So show the love, get out there and love on somebody this month. That's all I got to say, Daphne.
All righty. Well, we're going to leave you all with that. And as we say, get your questions in and you'll be seeing more of us over the next, months, years to come. And they'll help you all get
we'll be here. Yeah, we're here to tell you like it is. And this is the thing now. This is the first one. One. We're going to be in here and we're the real nonprofit consultants of 501c3. You got some folk out there who are consultants and who won't tell you the truth, and this is what we're here for. We're going to bring in some more people to share with you, to educate you, because education is absolutely necessary. If you're a nonprofit leader, educating yourself with sound, factual information is necessary, because the fluff and the fake stuff is not going to work. It's not going to fund you. It's not going to keep you sustained. You need to know the real deal, and that's what we are here for over here at the NICU. We got all these babies who were, like Daphne said, didn't get any prenatal care. We just went to get the 501c3. We did a 1023 easy real quick. We didn't do no prenatal care. We ain't got no business plan. We ain't got programs. Because we didn't do no prenatal care, right? We just got pregnant. And we like, look, I'm pregnant with this baby, and I want him out of here. And that's what I hear a lot of people say with their purpose. I'm pregnant with purpose, but you need some prenatal care during this pregnancy so the baby can be healthy. But just in case you didn't get it, there's always the NICU, the nonprofit intensive care unit, just like you have the baby, the NICU for babies. Just in case you didn't get it or the baby came a little bit early, there's some nurses in there that's gonna seep out that baby, right? They treating that baby just like it's theirs. They in there. I was a preemie, right? They in there holding the baby. They care for this baby the whole nine, and you're gonna give that baby what it needs to be healthy. And by the time the baby is old enough to do what it does, you wouldn't know it was a preemie unless it told you. Right. So that's what we are going to do here in the NICU. And I'm glad that you guys have decided to join us.
I hope you all have a very, 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 very blessed Valentine's Day. And as we say, go spread the love, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.